down to the 6.
Just waiting.
They're fast.
Okay, we're calling the regular meeting of the Village of Oaklawn Board of Trustees to order at 7:30 p.m. on the dot. Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
President Barry?
Present.
Trustee Quinlan?
Here.
Trustee Olenichik?
Here.
Trustee Desmond?
Here.
Trustee Carberry?
Here.
Trustee Vorder?
Here.
And Trustee Strike?
Yes.
We have a quorum.
In honor of Veterans Day, would Trustee Vorderer care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Trustee Vorderer is a veteran. Excuse me, Memorial Day.
Alex, you're a veteran, help me with this.
Good.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That was Memorial Day, by the way. Okay. Any public comments today, Jane?
No.
No public comments. Okay. I would like to call Eagle Scout Stuart LaCourcy to the podium with me for recognition of his achieving the rank of Eagle. This ceremony took place at St. Gerald's recently. And would you like to say a few words about your project? Stuart, what troop are you in?
619.
Thank you.
All right, so first off, achieving the rank of Eagle is the highest accomplishment that any Boy Scout, Cub Scout can earn. And in order to do that, you need to get all the Eagle Scout required merit badges, do a project, have a leadership role, and a bunch of other things with the troop. Now, the Eagle Scout project has to be something that is entirely led and constructed by the Eagle Scout themselves. They can have some help and have some other people organize it and help them with it, but they themselves have to lead it. So you can't just have somebody, be like, oh yeah, I'm going to work here for free for a couple of hours. No, it has to be something completely built to yourself. So what I did is I took a trip to Pilgrim Faith and I realized that their food pantry was pretty lacking. So I decided that would be my Eagle project. So basically over the course of a few months, also with the assistance of my troop, family members, friends, I was able to collect enough food to stock Pilgrim Faith's food pantry for 2-3 months to come. Yeah.
Very good. And what school do you go to?
Well, I used to go to Oaklawn Community High School, but I just graduated, so I'll be going off to Northern.
Congratulations. Awesome effort, awesome job, and you made a big difference in Oaklawn. Thank you. Thank you. Trustee Strite, can you please come to the podium, please? I understand we have a lot of Girl Scouts here you want to talk about.
Right, I do. Thank you very much. Well, it is so nice to see our young people that are stepping up and taking an active interest in their community and doing so many wonderful things. And tonight, we have a Girl Scout troop that are led by troop leader Lori Paschke. Is that correct? Did I say that right? Okay. And Scout Unit Manager Helen Gazelle. And they have a really fine group of young girls who, what they did is they were meeting in the center of town here by the Village Hall, and they saw that there was a lot of debris around the gazebo area on our village green. They took garbage bags and they went around and they cleaned up our village green because they thought it would look nice.
Wow.
Girls, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I could read the names
Okay.
and you could hand them.
Okay, all right. And I just want to say that there was a number of our local newspapers wrote some nice articles about the kids, and we wanted the opportunity to recognize them and thank them, because these young Girl Scouts are the leaders, or future leaders. They're our future. They're the leaders of tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and
Okay.
we're going to recognize each one of them individually.
Tamia Brown. Lily Butler. Is Lily here?
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Lily. How are you? I'm gonna, maybe if I could step out on this side. Thank you very kindly for what you did. Let me step.
Abby Cody.
If we could, maybe we step out in front. No? Okay. Abby, is Abby here?
We have Nikki Cody also. Is Nikki here?
Oh, hi, is Abby your sister? Of course she is. This is a token of appreciation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Anna Enderly.
You know that name, Anna. Well, you're kind of a famous person in this town. There's a lot of Enderleys, aren't there? Is that your dad or your uncle? Your uncle, okay. Well, thank you so kindly, Hannah.
Rhea Graham. Okay. How about Sarah Jordan? Sarah here? Excellent.
Okay. Sarah, thank you so much for your service to the village of Oak Lawn, the residents of the certificate. Thank you.
Olivia Jazorsik. Thank you. How do you say that? Thank you. Isabella Kalita. Not here? Okay. Samantha Marufo. Samantha here. Thank you so much. Elise Oldham. Thank you. Jessica Paschke. Paschke.
Did I say it wrong?
Excuse me.
Oh, I said it.
Lorelei Paschke. Did I say it right? Okay. Neela Perkle. This is Neela. Mia Segura. Emily Stefanison. Did I say that right? Thank you. Mackenzie Tamer. And was Lori not here, Lori Paschke? Oh, okay. And then Helen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, kids, who worked the hardest on this project?
Great job, great job.
Now, remember, next Saturday, 9 o'clock.
Great job, thank you. Okay. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Clerk Quinlan. Would you please commence the swearing in of our wonderful police personnel?
My pleasure. Okay, wait till they kind of go out.
Great job, girls.
Okay. May I have our police officers come in, please, if we can fit in the room? Want to come up?
Come on up.
Got Luke, Scott, Matt, Dan, and Matt.
What do you need first?
How about the 4 patrol officers first? How are you? And we'll make this one, we got Luke first. Yes, Scott. That's me. I talked to Chief Word, and he wanted to do it separately, which I think is appropriate. So, Just move down a little bit, and then I'll just read slow. You won't have to sign anything to vote. Okay. Just repeat it after me. I,
I, Luke Sevenick,
having been appointed
having been appointed
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Patrol Officer
of Police Patrol Officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Luke.
I, Scott Peterson,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Patrol Officer
of Police Patrol Officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Scott.
I, Daniel Stahl,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Patrol Officer
of Police Patrol Officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, Matthew Harland,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
to the position of Police Patrol Officer
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Patrol Officer
of Police Patrol Officer
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Set.
So we have Dennis
Let's have
and
Dennis, Ross, and Mike. Big wigs. Guys all look so nice tonight. Okay. It's very special. Just repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I, Dennis Keenan.
I, Dennis Keenan,
Having been promoted
having been promoted
to the rank of Police Sergeant
to the rank of Police Sergeant
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the Village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Police Sergeant
of Police Sergeant
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me
so
God.
help me God.
Congratulations. You can just go right behind Mike. Okay, Ross. Nice thing. Okay, just, I, Ross.
I, Ross Finley,
Having been promoted
having been promoted
to the rank of police lieutenant
to the rank of police lieutenant
in the village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of police lieutenant
of police lieutenant
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Yeah, sure. Now for the chief. It's very special. I'm Michael Murray.
I, Michael Murray,
Having been promoted
having been promoted
to the rank of police chief
to the rank of police chief
in the village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
in the village of Oak Lawn, County of Cook,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will faithfully support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of police chief
of police chief
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Tell your families up.
Beth, you got that rubber stamp right
Would any family members care to come up?
For our
Scott
officers
and
too.
Dan and Luke, if they're still out there, I'd like them to point their families out. If the families are still here, maybe they could stand up.
I'll sit
Dan,
down.
family members here tonight?
Why don't you have them come up too?
Why don't you guys go over
Come
to
on
the
up,
mic?
Come on up.
Go-
Anybody else?
If you got family members out in the audience, if you're here. Yeah, Luke first.
Yeah, I've got my dad Jim Sevening, my mom, my girlfriend Kelly, and her son Julian out there.
I got my folks Rick and Sharon Harlan right there, and the girlfriend Amber. Thanks for all the support and getting me to where I needed to go here.
My wife Maria, who pushed me through every phase of this.
Benny?
I have my wife Barb, my oldest son Colton and Mason, my youngest, and my sister Lisa.
I got a lot of people here. I got my, of course, my wife and my children, my twins Ann and Molly. It's very special to me tonight because my son Jack, who's an active duty Marine, is here to see me get sworn in. My mother, my sister, my brother, my father, I got a bunch of people. I got friends. So thanks for all the support for everybody. Thank you. Oh, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, I forgot them.
Wow.
I'm gonna have my wife come and pin my star on if that's okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Get your son up there, get a picture. Did you get his son up there, get a picture.
just want to get a picture with my son, if you all don't mind.
No.
This is turning out a lot better than I thought. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'd like to start off with my mom and dad, Betty and Dave Murray. My wife, Kathy. And half of my children, Ben and Allison. The other three are here in spirit. Katie, Allison's friend, is here. Big supporter. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I can't start naming people, but thank you for being here. It means I can't tell you how much it means. Thank you to the board. I promise exactly what I said here. I swear that I will do my best, and I know we have the support of the board, and I know that that will continue, and I thank you all for that support. I don't know if Bill started the tradition, but I'd like to continue it, and it's not because Kathy dresses me every day, although I know she wishes she could, but I'd like her to come up and pin my star on. Close enough. Jab it in my
Congratulations, and thank you so much for the service you give Oaklawn. Thank you. So the business meeting of the board meeting will continue. If family want to stay, they're welcome, but if family want to get out of here and spend time with your loved ones, please feel free.
Congratulations, Murray. He's a great guy. He deserves it.
That's really nice. That was very nice.
Oh, good. I'll see you around.
Kind of looking, Sam?
I kind of got.
We could make a motion to move those up. First, we need a motion to move them up, and then we'll call them separately.
Okay, let's approve the minutes first.
Yeah, and then we'll do that maybe.
And which
Then they can go
numbers? Okay.
26, 27, and 20, just right next to it, yeah. I'm just thinking, we need a motion to move up items.
Good. Okay.
Just thinking I
I'm
should.
gonna need that proclamation and stuff. Okay,
Oh, that's not for that one. Like to work, we can wait on that.
okay, okay.
It's gonna be in the farm and
Okay. Item, let's see. I may have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting dated May 14th, 2013. Okay, properly moved by trustee Straight, seconded by trustee Vorder. Any discussion?
It was cold out here.
Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Abstain?
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 501.
Thank you. I'd like to request to have a few items moved up on the agenda if we could, because there are people in attendance, so who might want to discuss it. So we have item 26, 27, and 28. May I have a motion to, that's the St. Catherine's 5K, the Oaklawn Hometown 5K, and the Cubmobile.
Can we take them one at a time?
Yes.
So do a motion advance.
May I have a motion to advance item 26,
So moved.
please? Properly moved by trustee Olenichek,
Second.
seconded by trustee Quinlan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Okay.
Oops, sorry, I'm doing
That's all right,
it.
no, that's all right. 27, motion to approve.
Okay.
Motion to approve now.
And so we just go one by one, we don't move them up one by one.
Just motion to approve.
Okay,
this one.
so I need a motion, we have a request to approve the St. Catherine of Alexandria third annual Charge on 5K Walk Run to be held on August 17th, 2013, starting at 8 a.m. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, trustee Streit, who was first? Okay, we had trustee Carberry first and seconded by trustee Streit. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. We need to request to move item 27 forward, please. This is a request to approve the Oaklawn Hometown School District 123 5K Walk Run to be held on August 24th,
So moved.
2013. Properly moved by trustee Olenichek,
Second.
seconded by trustee Quinlan, pardon me. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay.
To approve now.
Motion to,
Approve 27.
motion to approve item 27, please.
So moved.
Properly moved by trustee Streit,
I'll second.
seconded by trustee Vorder. Any discussion?
Is anybody here from the Cub Scout pack?
We're still talking about 27. though.
Sorry.
Yeah. I could ask, but let's get through 27. Any discussion on 27?
25.
All in
You know what,
favor?
and I apologize, I have the old agenda, so I'm looking at the wrong agenda right now.
I'm sorry.
Are you where?
But we're talking about, this is the Oaklawn Hometown?
This is the Oaklawn Hometown School
Okay.
District 123
Okay.
5K Walk Run.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. May I have a motion?
All in favor?
Thank you.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, now we're moving on to 28. I'd like a motion, please, to move this forward. This is a request to approve the Cub Pack 3619 22nd Cubmobile Derby to be held on July 13th between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. to take place on Mayfield Avenue between 96th Street and 97th Street. And it looks like we might have our Cub Scout represented. Would you care to say anything about this event?
Just thank you so much for always giving us the support and the help that you've always given us. This is the favorite, absolute by far favorite thing that the Cub Scouts do.
Okay.
And if anybody would like to come and be there, we would really like to have some of you up there to show us your faces that day. Maybe you can start us off.
Yep, that sounds fun. Sounds fun. Okay,
So
so
moved.
we're going
Still need a
to,
motion to move
motion to move it forward by
Yeah.
trustee Streit, seconded by
Second.
trustee Quinlan. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes to move up. Can we
Okay.
approve?
May I have a motion to approve this event, please?
Second.
Properly moved by trustee Streit, seconded by Olenichek, trustee Olenichek. Any discussion?
I just wanted to say, we always see Ken Robluski here every year.
He's out of town.
He's out of town, and I just wanted to say that it is, you've already said it, it's an outstanding event, really a great event for the kids, for the scouts, and for the whole community. Thank you for all your efforts on behalf of the kids, and hopefully, I know you'll have a big turnout. Hopefully, a lot of the board members can get out there as well.
Registration, we usually do about 100 to 125 boys.
Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
incredible. Thank you so much, and best of luck with the event. Hope to be there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Oh, we voted. Oh,
All in
sorry.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay. we'll go back
Sorry,
to,
I'm all out of order. We're going to go
That's
back to the agenda. Number 8 on the agenda is new business by village trustees. I'm going to start with District 1. Trustee Desmond, any new business today?
Yeah, a couple of items. One of the things I noticed watching a recording of the last meeting was the amount of time that was spent on new business, and yet there was very little new business discussed. I think one item of new business was briefly mentioned. The public are allowed 3 minutes for their comments. I think maybe the same should be allowed to trustees if they don't have any new business to discuss. I think we just went through an election. The people voted for change. I think we also need to change the way we do business. I think we maybe less talking and more working.
We have some applause to that.
Okay, new business. One of the items that we ran on in the campaign, and I got a lot of positive feedback, was trying to create a program for our high school graduates that we could work with the businesses in Oak Lawn. I believe there's almost 1,200 businesses in Oak Lawn. If we can get them, if we could get 1% of those businesses to hire some of our high school graduates, a lot of these guys won't be going on to college. By the end of summer, they won't have a whole lot to do. We have, auto dealerships, we have heating and air conditioning companies. If we could get them to offer apprenticeships and internships to our students, have them work 3-4 years, train them, give them the skills that they can move on. A lot of kids, and it was actually in today's Chicago Tribune, about students going on to college, spending 4 years in college, ending up with maybe 60,000, 70,000 in student debt and still can't get a job. A plumber can start at probably 80,000 a year after qualifying with no student debt. There's estimated to be a worldwide shortage of skilled tradespeople all over the world in the next 10 years. Now with the economy slowly coming back, new construction is coming back, I think we have an opportunity to create new careers for our 17, 18-year-olds and give them the skills that they can go anywhere in the world. One of the other, and maybe our village manager and attorneys maybe can look into that. Another item that we ran on for the campaign was term limits. We all value experience and know-how, but sometimes we need new ideas, new energy. So I would propose maybe introducing that on the next agenda, term limits, and that's all I have. So back to you.
Thank you. District 2, Trustee Olenichek.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Board, I'll try to keep it quick and take the lead. ComEd came back to the Village of Oak Lawn within the last 24 hours, and they had ruled that they are not going to cover the damage that was covered by the energy surge that happened 2 months ago after reviewing it. It's very concerning to myself because there are about 65 residents that were affected, anywhere between $2,000 worth of damage up to $20,000 worth of damage to their homes due to an energy surge that happened in their neighborhood. So I've asked our village attorneys to advise us on where we need to go next with this to make sure that our residents are represented, because going up against Commonwealth Edison is not an easy task. They have hundreds of lawyers. Residents typically don't have any. I know that this board has taken a position that we do want to support the residents that were affected by this outage, and we also do want to take a very hard stand with Commonwealth Edison, especially in light of the rate hikes that have just gone through. So, Paul, you had said that the next for the next meeting, you can have your decision of how we approach the ICC to be able to at least fight for the residents and approach them in Springfield to get a ruling on Commonwealth Edison's negative ruling that they are not going to take care of the damage that was caused by their system.
Right, and I think that's what you asked us for when this incident first happened and there was the power outage. We thought that we'd go through this administrative process or the arbitration process through ComEd until they see what their answer was. And then at that time, I'd advised there were two avenues for the village to go. One was down to Springfield to the ICC, and the other one was to file something in Chancery Court that we had seen other villages do on behalf of their municipalities and their taxpayers to try to make recovery. I'll go back and freshen it up, but I think our recommendation was at that time was to first go to the commission that regulates ComEd and start there. So I will have that for you next time.
All right, and for the residents that were affected, we do have your names and addresses and your emails. We'll be putting out information of a forthcoming meeting. Secondly, yesterday, there was a very good Memorial Day honorarium, and what was very powerful to me is that the veterans and the people who serve for our freedom, because freedom is not free, were out there, and it was very warming to see veterans from World War II, Korean War, the Vietnamese conflict, Iraqi freedom, the Iran, I mean, sorry, I don't want to say Iran, but the Middle East involvement that we've had. And every one of the gentlemen that were up there always talked about the people that didn't make it back, because that's what Memorial Day is about. My father was a World War II veteran. He was in the Battle of the Bulge, and when I went active duty, he prayed for me every day that I would have the opportunity to return. He shared with me a story one night about losing his best friend in a foxhole next to him in Bastogne. His friend gave his life up for freedom, and I really look at what it means in our services. Memorial Day is a time to reflect and give thanks. It's not about a sale, it's not about a day off, it's about the people who laid down their lives for us. So I thank each and every veteran and anybody that has supported us, the veterans, and I would ask everyone to thank a veteran when you see one. They give the ultimate all the time, and it was good to see that gentleman who was active duty Marine that came back to honor his father. And then on final thing is the Oak Lawn Green Team is having their second annual bicycle tour. The Oak Lawn Green Team is excited to announce the second annual bicycle tour on Saturday, June 22nd, 2013. You can register for the bike tour at www.oaklawn/il.gov. It's /PDS/BDR .pdf. I'm sure it's a lot easier to find that. But the important thing is there's going to be no on-site registration. This year all the registration will be done either via the internet, and if you don't have the internet, you can come up to second floor Village Hall. I know that the clerk staff is going to be registering people. So it's a very fun event. We look forward to it. It started as a grassroots effort, and I do want to thank the sponsors, which are coming back again this year. Bike Psycho sponsor it, and they run it for us. They do a great job for us. CDM Smith, the Children's Museum, this is their first year that they're going to be working with us on this. Fair Play Foods, and the Kelsag Trail, along with Complete Vision Care. So if you really want to see a nice part of Oak Lawn, involve your family in it, please come out to the bike tour. And this year, one of the things that we are doing is that there's going to be a kid-friendly bike ride and fun bike safety activities afterwards. So if you need more information, please check our website. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Straight, District 3.
Thank you very much. You know, nights like tonight really do give you a great feeling to be an Oak Lawn resident, to see all those fine new police officers being sworn in and all those veterans being promoted. And I just wanted to share a personal experience that gave me such a great feeling. I attended the retirement party of former Chief Villanova. And one of the things that throughout that process it became clear to me is, first of all, we had a number of Oak Lawn police officers who were certainly qualified to step into the shoes to become chief, And what I learned is that all of the officers that we had that were, that had essentially were being considered for that position all supported each other. They were all comfortable that any one of them could be the next chief, and they were okay with that. And at that retirement, you had former Chiefs Gilbert, Hauk, Smith, and then of course, and Bill was retiring. And tonight here, we also had, I saw Chief Villanova and Chief Smith here as well. And the thing that I realized at the swearing in that really gave me such a good feeling is that the Village of Oak Lawn has a very clear plan of succession in place in our police department. And that was very comforting for me as a resident. I just wanted to share that with the rest of the community. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to District 4, Trustee Vorderer.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to just piggyback on the memorial comments that my fellow trustee and veteran Alex Olenichek said. You know, I was a Vietnam veteran, and I came back. I was in combat. 36 hours later, I was home. And I think it took 25 years before anybody ever really wanted to talk about it and recognize it. And when I was at the Green yesterday, I was so proud to be an American and so proud to be a veteran. And I like to think that the legacy of the Vietnam soldier is we woke up America. It took us 25 years, but we woke them up to the fact that these guys who serve this country, okay, whether you agree with the conflict or not, have made a commitment to die for you. And they need to be honored. And Sandra Berry made an impressive speech. And I walked away from that with that one line, if I can use it, Sandra. She says, when we look at this great country and we look at what we accomplished and we look at our buildings and our brick and mortar, it's more than cement. Every one of those buildings carries a little bit of blood for the men who gave the all to this country. And I was so proud that day to be a veteran. One of the other things I want to mention is one of the great things Oak Lawn has is its park district. I was a commissioner, and I asked them when I won this seat if I can use this microphone and this seat once in a while to promote programs more than just the parks. They do so much more, and I was given authorization by my fellow ex-commissioners. And I would like to point out that the Park District has a great theater program, and it's produced a play called 9 to 5. It's an excellent production. It will be May 31st to June 7th. It will be on the weekends, June 1st through June 8th. Ticket prices are probably not much more than you would pay to go see a movie. You will see a Broadway production that could probably perform downtown. So keep it in mind, okay, it is a great asset the village has for us. Today, I met with the president and executives at Christ Hospital with Dr. Berry and the village manager to discuss issues important to District 4 as we move forward. I think the meeting was extremely productive. I think the hospital wants to work with the village. It wants to work with the village manager. We left that 2-hour meeting with a very positive feeling that this great medical, world-class medical institution will help us to address some of the problems in District 4 that I feel, that my constituents feel are caused by the additional traffic and people that come. So I walked away very positive. In addition to that, they are reconfiguring the traffic signals at 95th and Costner. And one of the things that was always aggravating for me and many of the residents is they had no left-hand turn signal for northbound Costner. You might have to sit there for 2 or 3 cycles. There is one for southbound, the hospital traffic. But the new lights will have, okay, left-bound turn lights. So that's a good thing. And as I campaigned, I promised to stay in touch with my constituents through all the forms that we have today, media, email, this camera, this microphone, and occasional community meetings. I am working on a community meeting. I hope to be able to make an announcement on a location and a date at our next board meeting where we can discuss, you can meet me, you can meet and discuss issues that are important. That's all I have, Mrs. Berry.
Thank you. Thank you. District 5, Trustee Quinlan.
Yes, I have a few things. This week, just driving through the neighborhood with all the rain and constantly, worrying about flooding in my district in particular, what I noticed is a lot of the storm drains in front of people's homes had a lot of like the helicopters or leaves or debris that were covering the drains, and it was puddling quite a bit on the streets. So I know our Public Works Department works really hard and tries to clear these drains when they can, but especially at this time in the spring, early summer, when this debris gets really obnoxious. I'd just like to ask residents to take a couple minutes, just go in front of your house and clean off the drain, because just looking at the forecast, this rain doesn't look like it's going to be letting up too much. And I really think your neighbors will appreciate it as well as cars driving through the street. The second item I wanted to bring up, unfortunately, we had another car crash on Georgia Lane, right there at 105th. 2 months ago, someone was killed, 2 people injured, let alone the house being destroyed, the garage. Well, it happened again across the street on Georgia Lane. I am going to be working with our staff and the residents. We're looking at speed bumps, but in the meantime, especially now that kids are getting out of school, there is that park across where a lot of the kids go to play ball. I just want to remind people to please slow down until we can address this issue, because it is getting serious and someone else is going to get killed there. My third item that I wanted to bring up, maybe you guys discussed it at the last board meeting, but several months ago we had discussed about video cafes and also the liquor licenses that will mesh with that, and I believe that's coming up within the month that we need to address liquor licenses, and I'm wondering if we could possibly set a date, whether it is going to be a separate board meeting, given that it might be lengthy, or, do we want to do it during a regular board meeting?
Okay.
Okay. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And District 6, Trustee Carberry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a few items. The first being our promise to eliminate pensions for part-time politicians. I can tell you that the newly elected Oak Lawn politicians have refused this benefit, and now I'm looking for the attorneys and the village manager to work together to make this a policy and to get it on the next meeting agenda for a vote. Secondly, if we could, buses for seniors and for Sunday services, if that would be something you could look into, Larry, if we could actually, rent the buses that we have here for transportation for seniors to Sunday services, if that's an option.
Okay.
Also, St. Catherine's is having Carnival starting June 5th through June 9th. It's a nice time. If you can get out and support the Carnival, that'd be great. Also, to the veterans, Alex and Trustee Vorder as well, thank you very much for your service. And that is, it was a humble meeting. I didn't expect that either. And there was a couple of, Luke 70, one of the police officers, played at St. Catherine's, a St. Catherine's kid, the police officer, and Mike Murray, and all the police officers, and his son, the Marine. That was a nice touch. It was nice to be part of. So that's all I got. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. We have item 9 on the agenda, which is the village manager's report. Manager Deachin.
Nothing to add, Mayor and Board, other than, again, a reminder that the open house at our new senior center will be this Thursday at 9:30 a.m. You're all invited. And I'd like to publicly thank again District 123, who are our partners in the new senior center. And Trustee Quinlan had asked me about parking, and I indicated to her that while we're meeting tonight, their board is meeting they've engaged an architect, and they're coming up with a couple alternative plans to better address parking and the adjacent ball fields in the area and ingress and egress, not only to the senior center, but the Advocate Emergency Training Center and to the local church that uses that building. Those are the three tenants. So very pleased to report that to you.
Okay, thank you. Item 10 is a request to approve the Planning and Development referral to rezone from a PL Public Lands to a AC1 General Business Zone District at 5300 West 95th Street, which was a 6-to-1 vote to approve, petition 2013-17, Beverly Bank and Trust Company, petitioner in District 2. Number 11 is an ordinance granting that rezoning. May I have a motion on items 10 and 11, please?
Madam President, I'll make that motion.
Okay, properly moved by Trustee Vorder. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Trustee Desmond. Any discussion? Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item number 12 is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a parking variation at 5300 West 95th Street, which was a 6-to-1 vote to approve, petition 2013-18, Beverly Bank and Trust Company, the petitioner in District 2. And item 13 is an ordinance granting that variation. May I have a motion, please, on items 12 and 13?
Madam President, I'll make that motion.
Properly moved by Trustee Vorder. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion?
I actually had some questions on that.
Okay.
Just reading the packet, they talk about, that you need the variance, they don't have enough spots, and that there's possibly going to be 20 additional spots that will be deeded to them somewhere from the village. Nowhere on there does it say where those spots are going to come from. And just parking, obviously, we all know it. It's a disaster. And I just want to make sure it's not going to be taken from, people that are now losing spots where they used to park for the library or Village Hall. And so I think the residents would probably feel a lot better, knowing exactly what the parking situation is and that they will be covered, and that the third floor is supposed to be for outside use, kind of like Harris Bank, if I'm understanding that correct, right? They're going to have an outside people.
The use, as I understand it, and certainly there's representatives from the bank here, but it'd be more similar to how Beverly operates at 103rd and Western, meaning that the offices would reflect the financial industry as opposed to Harris, which reflects the medical industry.
Right.
And the offices that are at the Beverly are what I would say, again, less intense in terms of use. They're more title services, legal services, and related uses. And I see nodding of heads on that.
So if you do rent out, let's say, space on the another floor or whatever, you don't anticipate that you'll need a lot of spots for those people that are renting?
Would you care to come up to the podium, please?
For everyone's benefit, I'm Mike Johnstone. I'm CEO for Beverly Bank.
And your address, please?
That's 159 East Walton, Chicago.
Okay. Thank you.
The third floor is the space that we would rent out if we do rent out. And it would be office space, and it would be contingent on very limited parking for that particular entity. It's not a large space. It's about 2,000 or so square feet, right, Jim? So it's a dormer, so it's a reduced size roof. The second floor, half of the second floor will be used to house, excuse me, our operations and our finance group from the bank. The east side of the building will contain our community room, which is part of our business model. And then the main banking floor will be all banking services. So the 20 spaces that we've negotiated with to use are not necessarily for tenants or customers, they're for employees to allow more parking for customers and tenants.
Where are those spaces?
Larry, do you want to?
I'd be more than happy to.
If it's in the parking lot or in the parking garage, that would be ideal.
No. Mayor Berry and board, those parking spaces would be in the north parking lot north of Village Hall. And Trustee Olenichek was proactive on this issue. We actually surveyed the number of employees that actually park and use our parking lot. As you can imagine, this workforce and the men and women who use the Village Hall has actually changed over the years, decreased. There's been a net reduction. There's actually a surplus during peak hours defined as mid-morning and mid-afternoon, a surplus of well in excess of 45 parking spaces. And with the vacation of family services, we'll be constructing approximately 20 to 30 additional parking spaces. So it's in the north end, very north end, on the perimeter, kind of the same policy that the Village Hall has. We want the closest parking spaces to be for customers and the farthest parking spaces in the perimeter to be for our associates so we can serve our customers.
My concern, or let me ask you, say during an event where the bank's, the bank is closed, will you allow residents to park, say like Fall in the Green at night when your bank is closed? Are you going to restrict any parking there whatsoever, or would you consider opening that up at nighttime, for those types of events and allowing residents to be able to park there?
That question came up during the Planning Commission, and my response to that was, as it relates to liability and insurance, we would look for indemnifications from the entities that want to park there. So in the case of the library, we would go to the library and through the assistance of the village and ask for some indemnification on the insurance side. If we were able to obtain that, we would.
Is that something that's possible?
I actually think that was a very productive request made at the Planning Commission meeting. I thought that Mr. Johnstone's response was appropriate, and I haven't had time yet to talk to Village Council, but I think it's very reasonable, and it's something we can work with our insurance carriers for the village and the library and better serve the public.
I think that would be huge, like on the concerts and that type of thing. So if we could look into that, and we can hold you to it if we can get that.
No, I'm more in agreement with that. The other reality of this is, as we're going through the summer months and we're having events and those kinds of things, it's never an issue.
Okay.
It's a Sunday night, there's been an ice storm, someone falls.
Right.
It's a reality, and it's something we're very concerned about, and certainly from the bank's perspective, the insurance piece becomes a very important piece to that, and so that's our biggest concern.
I totally understand that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Mayor, may I add to that? Since it was brought up for discussion, I just want to remind this board that the bank's understanding of the agreement that was voted on by a 4-3 vote, we all know who voted that way, was that their plan that was presented to the board at that time was the full plan and executed plan that the bank expected. Going up in front of the Planning Development Board was just a process that meant nothing, because the bank is on record saying that that is exactly how they want this building to go. There was no compromise on traffic going into the neighborhood, which was brought up in neighborhood meetings. There is a concern still with the bank, with the library, because the library uses the 42 spaces that are on the side. So the concern is we are going to have a lot of traffic coming into this area. We are going to be losing 42 spaces that this Village Hall and the library uses at the front end of the building. They will be getting deeded, 20 at the back end of the building, but there is a concern still from the neighborhood, and I know that Mr. Johnson has said that if we have issues, we can sit down once the bank is up and going to eliminate traffic flow going into the neighborhoods or to address parking issues. The hours of service for the bank are from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m., correct? Monday through Friday?
Correct.
So they will be using that lot, and that lot will be specifically for their people. On Saturday, what are the hours of operation?
We're open until 1, 7 to 1.
7 to 1. And then Sunday you're closed.
Correct.
So we are going to get the first experience of exactly what this development's going to do coming up very shortly when they start breaking ground and pulling off this area to where we won't have any access to it. And we do have Fall in the Green coming up and all the things that have been mentioned. And I do believe that the bank is going to be a good corporate citizen to try to help us out. But the concern is every other development that's gone up in front of the planning development, they had teeth. They could ask questions and let the developers know what would or wouldn't be allowed. This one was the only one since I've been a trustee that it went up in front of the board, was voted on a 4-3. We took the money to balance the budget. So we don't really have any say-so on the negative impact that we believe is going to happen with the traffic coming into the neighborhood.
Madam President, I just
Trustee
want
Straight?
to, if I could, I just want to clarify, I'd like to ask the manager to clarify it. Was the land rezoned and sold to the bank to balance the budget?
No.
Oh, thank you.
Was the money that was used for the land ultimately used to balance the budget?
The money was included in the current 2013 operating budget. That is correct.
So if we didn't have the money from the bank, would we have been able to balance the budget?
Well, trustee, the board deliberated during the budget session. We looked at 3 or 4 scenarios on how we would close the gap. And there were the other alternatives before the board. The board, as a board, made a decision to adopt the 2013 budget, including the $1.8 million sale of the property. That's correct.
Any other discussion? Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14 is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for Oaklawn Bank and Trust Company, Subdivision 1 lot at 5300 West 95th Street, which was a 6-1 vote to approve. Looks like number 2013-1 Beverly Bank and Trust Company petitioner in District 2. And then item 15 is an ordinance approving that plat of subdivision. May I have a motion on items 14 and 15, please?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve properly moved by trustee Desmond. Second?
I will second.
Seconded by trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item number 16 is a request to approve the installation of a temporary retail bank trailer for Oaklawn Bank and Trust Company at 5300 West 95th Street from June of 2013 through April of 2014 in District 2. And item 17 is an ordinance authorizing that placement. May I have a motion on items 16 and 17, please?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by trustee Quinlan. Second, please.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President, I'm kind of vague on where this trailer is going to sit on the property.
Trustee.
This is going to occur after the buildings are torn down?
Okay. Would you care to come up and, or Barry, can you answer?
In your package, there is a diagram prepared by the architects for Oaklawn Trust and Savings, but Mike, if you could just orally describe what your tent is and the location of that trailer.
Just to go back a little bit, though, is from a historic perspective, the construction period for our building is going to be approximately 8 months, and we're eager, to say the least, to be a part of the village sooner than that. And so having a temporary facility allows us to do that, and it'll be up during the construction process. It'll be located at the eastern end of the property, so access to it will be through Raymond Street, and we'll have we'll have nominal parking, but again, it won't be drive-up. It'll just be walk-in, but it'll get our name out. It'll give us a chance to be supportive of all the events that we want to be supportive of during the summer months in Oak Lawn. So that's the plan.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, thank you. Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Border?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Just a point of information, don't want to alarm anyone, but I've seen some looks. That's a toning system that goes throughout the building. It just alerts public safety officials. We're under a flash flood alert. I'm sure you've all heard the rain. And that alert is in effect till 2:30 a.m. This early morning. Thank you.
Let's move along. What is it?
Say that again?
Clean out your storm drains.
Just so it's not a tornado. That's,
Well, flooding can be bad. too.
oh, really?
We better move
Wow.
this along.
Wow, okay.
Just said flash flood.
Okay,
That's the
thank
warning I
you.
had.
We're getting news reports. Okay. Moving on to number 18 on the agenda, which is a request to approve and award a bid for the 2013 sidewalk replacement program to D-Land Construction of Bensonville, Illinois, in the amount of $91,382.72.
Mayor, if I could, just as a just point of information for the board, this is a new initiative that was approved in December of 2012 by the mayor and the board. It was a request discussed during the budget process where we felt that there was a need to expand sidewalk replacement and improvements. And we have some critical areas that are throughout the village and every one of your districts that have been identified by Public Works along with our consulting engineering firm, Burke, that assisted us in preparing the bid specifications. Before you, we're recommending the lowest complying bid, the firm DeLand from Bensonville, and that the monies are budgeted as part of your Build America bond program.
Thank you. Item 19 is a resolution approving that bid also. So may I have a motion, please, on items 18 and 19?
That's all right.
Approve?
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond.
I actually had a question.
Okay, in a minute,
Move first.
May I have a motion, please?
Second.
Who's
I
the?
made the motion.
Properly moved by Trustee Quinlan, seconded by Trustee Carberry. Now, questions, Trustee Desmond?
This is just more of a request for information on the bidding. Again, I'm very pro Oak Lawn business. I think that we need to make the bidding process maybe more amenable to. I guess I'm asking is how were these bids put out? I mean.
Well, we're required with a dollar amount of this to advertise. So we do advertise. It's on our website. Most contractors in today's technology subscribe to a service that will target projects that they're hunting for, and they will get alerts. Oak Lawn, Oak Park, River Forest. And then they're able to secure through our consulting engineer a copy of the bid specifications, and then they will make a decision whether they wish to bid. They have to submit by a time certain, not to exceed, set of bid specifications that are sealed. They're read by the village clerk's office, opened at the same time, and then we report to you the results and a recommendation after scrutinizing the bids to make sure the math is correct. Trustee Quinlan asked me earlier, well, why is there an adjustment? In this particular bidder, it was just a mathematical error where we went through the numbers.
That's what D-Land, is it?
Yeah, they were still the low bidder, but their numbers did not add up when we added them up. So before you is the correct number.
But also, if you can, just to let you know, several years ago, I think it was, the board had passed where there's an advantage for an Oaklawn business to bid on anything that maybe it's a certain percentage. I don't remember what that percentage is, but if they're a little bit higher and they live in or their business, what is it, 3%? Okay, so they do get that advantage, Oaklawn businesses.
Okay. Any other discussion?
And I just had one other question.
Sure.
It seems that there's a big discrepancy between the engineer's estimate and some of the contractor's estimates. And one item, I think it was traffic control. The engineer estimated at 10,000, and the winning bid actually came in at 2,500. I mean, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will always, for budgeting purposes, Trustee Desmond, we will give an estimate that's conservative. Usually what will happen is the bids will come in at a lower level.
This was the only bid for all of the engineers' estimate.
Well, actually, the other two were one was right on the 12,000, and the other one was 25,000. It just seems that there's just that one item there was a lot of discrepancy.
Any other discussion on this item? These items? Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strike?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 20 is a request to approve and award the bid for the 2013 concrete repairs and the 50/50 sidewalk program to Davis Concrete Construction of Alsip, Illinois, in the amount of $99,656.25. And item 21 is a resolution approving Davis Concrete Construction's bid. May I have a motion on items 20 and 21, please?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by Trustee Quinlan. Any second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strike?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item 22 is a resolution approving, it's resolution number 13-10-20, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement between the Village of Oaklawn and Oaklawn Community High School, District 229, pertaining to an Oaklawn Police Liaison Officer. May I have a motion on item
Motion to
22?
approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Oliniechek.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Desmond. Any discussion? And we do have representatives of District 229 in attendance.
I actually just had a
Trustee Quinlan?
Just a quick question on it. I understand that the district will be reimbursing the village, but does that include the benefits as well? Is this like a full-time or just kind
Would you
of
please come to the podium and identify yourself, your name and address, please?
Good evening. My name is Mike Reardon. I am the superintendent at Oaklawn Community High School, District 229 at 9400 Southwest Highway in Oaklawn. Also present with me tonight representing the school district, our board president, Matt Egan, and our board secretary, Kathy Berry. First of all, I'd like to express my appreciation of the board for entertaining and considering this proposal. It's one in a long line of very mutually beneficial partnerships between the school district, the high school district, and the village. The proposed intergovernmental agreement, to answer your question, requires the district to reimburse the village for time spent in the service of the school. It's a full-time police officer that will not be spending 100% of his time at the school. Obviously, it's just during the school year and during the times that we would not be in session. That police officer would serve, here in some other capacity. And the payment is based on per diem amount, based on that officer's per diem salary amount, which I do not believe includes benefits.
So it's just
the base
hourly
salary, yeah, based on the base salary for that particular officer.
Trustee Border?
Yeah, I believe we've had this agreement with 218 for more than 15 years. It's worked very, very well for the school and the police department to have a policeman in the school to address juvenile-type problems.
Yeah, my understanding is the same, and the intergovernmental agreement that we worked out was modeled after the existing intergovernmental agreement between the village and District 218. And I should mention also, for the past, I think it's been about 10 years, we have had a part-time police liaison officer, Bob Foster, who many of you probably know, retired policeman here with the village, has served in that capacity and served in that capacity very well. We felt in terms of the next step of providing the most secure, safe environment in our school climate was to move to a full-time on-duty police officer, which the intergovernmental agreement establishes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Stride.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you,
Thank
Matt.
you. Thank you very much.
Okay, take care. Thanks, guys. Item 23 is a resolution, number 13-10-21, approving the collective bargaining agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150 Crew Chiefs. May I have a motion on item 23, please?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by Trustee Oliniechek.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Stride.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item 24 is resolution number 13-10-22, a resolution approving an agreement between the Village of Oak Lawn and Seguin Services Incorporated on behalf of Intersect for Ability for property maintenance services. May I have a motion on number 24, please?
Motion approved.
Properly moved by Trustee Quinlan, second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Trustee Border. Any discussion on this?
Yes.
Trustee Border?
Mr. Deachin, how many homes do we provide this service for? I know it's probably varies from time to time, but do we have any kind of head count? This is services provided for homes that are in foreclosure or not being maintained?
If I could, Mayor and Board of Trustees, overall, any given time of the 22,000 plus properties in Oak Lawn, there may be, give or take a few, 1,000 properties in Oak Lawn during this economic downturn that are troubled properties. So we started out with only our public works crews, and as the economy got worse, we've supplemented that using our own summer youth, and then we entered into this new partnership with this Intersect organization last year. They supplement it. Steve, as far as the workload that they assist us in, ballpark, how many of those homes?
I usually get a list from Jeannie once a week, and there's usually 30 to 40 houses on that list. So, sometimes it's a rotating list, but by the end of the day, I'd say by the end of the summer, we're taking care of a couple hundred houses.
And do we lien these properties?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And I was asked that question recently by one of your colleagues. What we're seeing over the last 3-4 months as the market has changed in housing, and you've all read articles that housing has improved to a small extent, not only in Oak Lawn but other Southland communities, that folks are thinking the economy has bottomed. They're out purchasing homes, and they're eager to do that. They have to make the lien satisfied. So we're seeing the complete lien in recent couple of months being paid.
Good.
Outstanding liens are a 7-figure number in this community. And you cannot sell, transfer, or move that property to a productive status without addressing and removing that lien. Now, we have, of that 7-figure number, we have a, what I call the top 5 list, and one of those happens to be kind of a mixed use in Trustee Strite's district. We've worked hard. It's a very complicated one. That would remove probably $400,000 to $500,000 of liens if we were successful. But the property's tied up in trust, very complex. It's been an issue, I think, Trustee Strite, for going maybe into the late 90s or a long period of time. But that takes up, that one single property off of Southwest Highway takes up a large amount of that outstanding lien amount.
Madam Mayor,
Trustee Olenichek.
but what I think the residents need to understand, it's frustrating when you have a house that goes into foreclosure, because at that point, the bank owns it. We as a village can hold them accountable to meet up to the standards of our village ordinance. By law, we cannot enter their property until their grass exceeds 4 inches. Once we enter their property, we can lien the house to make sure that we recoup our money from it. But the issue comes down to residents who typically cut their grass on a weekly basis, seeing that house that is vacant and it's an eyesore next to them. When we do enter the property, we don't do trimming of bushes or any other landscaping maintenance. And according to law, every time we go to enter that property, we have to give them a 5-day notice to say, you're deficient, you need to correct it. And the biggest concern comes down to every spring we go through the same thing. And our village staff does all the things that they can to make sure that this happens. And the people who have homes next to them understand that have been vacant for quite some time that this process goes on, but it doesn't make it any better. And we go through this every spring, that we get the houses with the 4 inches, we go out there, we take care of it. As we hear this rain coming down around us, that 4 inches is going to be back again within 2 or 3 days. Now we have to serve them again when they're in violation, let them know that we're going to spend 5 more days, give them the opportunity to get it right when we know it's not going to happen, and then we go back and we fix it. Well, as a resident goes through the beginning, spring and summer, beginning of it, they have to deal with this. And what I've asked legal to look into, and I've asked our staff to look into, is there any way that we can speed up this process? I know it seems asinine, because we as a village don't really care about the revenue. All we care about is that the house next door to us doesn't have grass that's 4, 6, 12 inches high and brings down the value of your house. I've actually had some neighbors that have gone on to other people's property and cut their grass. They're doing it illegally, and they could be, if anybody ever figured it out, they could be held to the highest of the law and be charged with trespassing. And I say that sarcastically, but we as a village need to be able to say that if it's been in foreclosure for 4 years, it's probably going to be in foreclosure again this year. It hasn't really changed. We need to be quicker in the response to getting it taken care of, and then also hold the banks accountable. I would like to see, instead of putting a lien on it, I would like to see a monthly billing of the banks to be able to make sure that they're paying us instead of just putting a lien on it. But the true thing is, we want to make sure that this process is sped up. The people that we're going to award this contract to do help out with the public works and do a decent job at maintaining those properties.
Any other discussion? Clerk Quinlan, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder? Trustee Strite?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Item number 25 is a proclamation. Village of Oak Lawn Proclamation, Bike to Work Week 2013, Bike Commuter Challenge. Whereas lengthening car commutes and increasing congestion are putting greater stress and burdens on Oak Lawn residents and commuters. And whereas Oak Lawn promotes bicycling as a clean and healthy way to travel throughout our community and as part of a multimodal regional transportation network. And whereas increased bicycling improves the health of Oak Lawn's workforce, builds community, reduces smog and carbon pollution, and whereas a bit of friendly competition to encourage the employees of Oak Lawn to bike to work on their bicycles and reconnect with fellow community members can educate people about their transportation options, environmental impacts, and other quality of life issues that are within one's control. And whereas the Bike Commuter Challenge is celebrated during Chicago's Bike to Work Week from June 7th through the 14th. Now therefore I, Dr. Sandra Berry, Village President of the Village of Oak Lawn, challenge all public agencies in Chicagoland area with 100 to 500 employees in recruiting the highest percentage of bike commuters for the Bike Commuter Challenge and declare Oak Lawn to have the most dedicated and enthusiastic bike commuters in Chicagoland, dated this 28th day of May, 2013. May have a motion, please, on this proclamation.
So moved. Motion
Properly
approved.
moved by trustee Straight? Okay. Second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Okay. Item 26, I believe we already did. 27, we already did. 28, we already did. Those were the items moved forward earlier in the meeting. Item 29 is an investigation of issues pertaining to House of Brides matters. With respect to public discussion on this item, I'm requesting a motion that this item be moved to executive session because it relates to the performance and/or discipline of one or more village employees, as well as imminent or probable litigation.
So moved.
Properly moved by trustee Olenichek,
Second.
seconded by trustee Carberry.
Is that for tonight?
Correct.
Can we do that if it's not posted?
Yes.
Okay.
We can do it right now, or in the alternative, there's a motion pending to do it right now, or we could have a motion to postpone it to the end of the agenda and take it up then. But the motion pending before the board right now is motion to go into executive session.
Okay, we have
First and second.
a first and second. Any discussion? Please.
Is that motion to do it now?
Yes.
We would go into an executive session
Yes.
now.
Why don't we do it at the end of the meeting? Can we correct that
No, I
motion?
mean at the end of the meeting. Is that
No,
what you're
Well,
saying?
we would clear it now, or we could move this, we could postpone that motion or stop the motion, vote it down, move it to the end of the meeting, and then vote for it again.
We could have a motion to postpone it to the end of the agenda, which would be a superseding motion to the motion to go into executive session and take it up before we conclude our business tonight, after the village president's report
No, I
and
didn't.
before adjournment.
So moved.
Okay. So the motion is
Postpone
to
to
postpone
the end of the agenda,
Till
after the
the-
village president's report and before the adjournment.
to the end of the village agenda after the village president's report, but before adjournment. May I have a motion on that. We had a motion properly by trustee Olenichek, second
Second.
by trustee Vorder. Any discussion?
Didn't we already have a motion?
Well, a motion to
Superseded.
postpone is-
Oh, this will supersede
You're
that,
right.
okay.
Second by
Okay.
Border.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I'll
Please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, item 30 is a request to approve the 2013 band contracts for this year's Fall on the Green Festival. May I have a motion on item 30?
I'd like the motion to postpone based off of information that's been provided to me by staff with some irregularities of sponsorship brought to my attention.
Okay, we have a motion to postpone by trustee Olenichek,
Second.
seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Oh, postpone, no discussion.
Is it indefinitely or to the next agenda?
To the next agenda.
To the next
Do we
agenda.
have enough time, though, to book these bands? I mean, is there anyone here that's on the committee?
We can't
Oh,
discuss it if it's a motion to postpone.
You can discuss a motion to postpone.
We can?
Discuss a motion to table.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. Please rephrase your question.
My question was, by postponing this, does that mean there's a possibility of losing? I don't know if there's a time frame associated with this being on the agenda. Trustee Streit? Do you
Well-
know?
Trustee Straight?
I think that there probably is, but I don't know why we can't discuss it tonight. If there, if there's some questions that have been raised. I think we should answer them and move on with it.
Any other discussion? Okay, I'd like a vote, please, on the motion to postpone this item till the next meeting.
Yeah. Trustee Quinlan?
No.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Straight?
No.
Motion passes 4-2.
Okay. Item 31 is a motion to amend the policy pertaining to the 2013 allocation of funds for infrastructure prioritization based on staff recommendation for infrastructure needs. May I have a motion on item 31?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Oliniechek. Second?
Second.
Seconded by Carberry. Any, Trustee Carberry, pardon me. Any discussion?
Yes. Madam
Trustee
President.
Straight?
Yes. At a meeting last Thursday that I had with Mayor Berry, she did tell me that at this meeting, the board was going to vote to rescind the 2013 infrastructure prioritization policy. That raises a lot of questions. First of all, last Wednesday, I did request a list of all the items that would be on tonight's agenda. I do have it here with me, and this item is not on the agenda. So the obvious point is, there are two sets of rules, one that applies to some elected officials and another set that applies to others.
If I may interrupt, that was referred to legal on Tuesday. We just didn't have it back yet.
Okay, well, it wasn't on the agenda, and I think I want to make my point.
That was a
as-
draft too, Bob, that we had sent
It
you.
was a draft.
I put
right,
draft.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm-
Okay. Just so I'm
I
clear on that.
understand that, but the point is that I requested all the items that were on the agenda as of 5 o'clock on Tuesday, which is a rule that does apply to me. And as most of you recall, 2 meetings ago, I requested that an item be placed on the agenda by Thursday prior to the meeting. We subsequently received a series of emails from the manager and the clerk and the village attorney indicating that the deadline was indeed the Tuesday, a week before the meeting. In fact, we also received an email this week from the deputy clerk stating that all items should be in the clerk's office on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting. So if we're going to have rules, they should apply to everyone. Then there's the issue of the mayor saying that this policy would be rescinded at this meeting. Now, I'm not sure how she knew that last week, but I guess we're going to find out if she was right in a few minutes. The intention of the policy that was passed was to make sure that all of the trustees had a relatively equal amount of infrastructure projects in their district. The other component of the policy was to address those people who had not benefited from the Build America Bond Program. We initially borrowed $36 million for infrastructure projects, and over the last few years, we spent about $30 million of that. All of these projects were selected by engineers and staff. At that time, when we passed the policy, we had about $7 million to spend. In an effort to make sure that all the residents were able to benefit from those improvements, the Public Works Committee made the following recommendation. The former mayor had asked that $1 million be set aside for either the expansion of the Village Green or the Beatty development, or some combination of the two. The Public Works Committee agreed with that recommendation. We had already committed $2 million to sanitary sewer rehabilitation improvements. That left about $4 million for street resurfacing, alley improvements, and water mains. The Public Works Committee felt that given this is the very last of the Build America bond funds, each district should be represented fairly. So the $4 million would be divided up equitably amongst the 6 districts. For clarification, we were only referring to the balance of the Build America bond funds, and the decisions on streets, alleys, and water mains have already been made. So there really is no good reason to rescind the policy unless the intention is to stop the expansion of the Village Green. The reason for putting Build America bond funds into the expansion of the Village Green is relatively simple. Not everyone had a street, an alley, or a water main improved over the last several years through the Build America bond funds. But all the people in this town still have to pay off the bonds. Everybody enjoys the Village Green, and after all, it's the largest gathering place in our community. This was one way that all of the residents of the Village of Oak Lawn could benefit from the Build America bond funds. So I hope after reconsideration, or after some consideration by my fellow trustees, they will realize that the policy was not only fair, but it was also visionary. Expanding the Village Green is in the best interest of everybody in our community.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes, I do. I just have a simple thing. Since that policy was adopted, there was an election. This was an election issue. The people of the Village of Oak Lawn have spoke. They do not believe $1 million towards the expansion of the green is needed. They believe that $1 million going back into wherever our staff decides needs to be put is the best use of that money, whether it's streets, alleys, any infrastructure improvement. But obviously, the residents gave us, the elected officials, a directive, and the directive is do not improve the green. So to say that something is fair and visionary, I think what's fair and visionary is when the voters came out and voted and let us know what they want to do.
Large percentage of people that voted.
You lost.
Percentage has nothing to do with
I didn't run.
Okay,
I didn't run.
Point of order, I'm not done, Madam Mayor.
I didn't
Trustee
run.
Quinlan, please don't engage the
Thank
people
you.
in the audience,
Point-
and
point of-
and let's
point-
have some decorum.
Point of order, I'm not done. I would appreciate that if I could finish.
Yes, go ahead.
We do have much work that needs to be done in this village. The infrastructure still, as our staff has told us at the Public Works meetings, we still need a lot of work to be done in this village to be able to handle storms like we're handling now and to continue on. We have just gotten ourselves to where we're treading water. We need, and our residents expect us to do more than that. So we have a big challenge of continuing on in 2014, 15, 16, and 17, the great work that we've already started. That concludes my discussion. Thank you.
Madam President?
Trustee Border.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment here on expansion of the green. I'm all for expanding and making new facilities for the village. When I became Park District Commissioner, I was faced with the fact that the infrastructure, the buildings, the windows, the floors, the roofs had been neglected for 15 years while politicians were cutting ribbons for new facilities to get their names on plaques. We spent the first 3 years as a commissioner, Don Anderson, myself, repairing furnaces, putting roofs on, and windows. Nothing fancy. We didn't get to put our names on anything. I would say before we build new, we take care of what we got. And I have streets in my district that got potholes 6 inches deep. I'd like to see the money spent on those priorities before we move forward with new projects.
And
Trustee Quinlan?
I just want to make sure, because obviously this is going to pass, but I will state again, why we equally distributed the rest of the funds is because, you know, District 1, millions of dollars less spent in your district than, you know, some of these other districts. Alex, you know, millions, you know, probably $4 million you wanted alone just for District 2. District 5 continually has been not as much money spent. I don't have alleys, I realize that, and I never put up a fight about redoing the alleys, but I also think when there's not that much money remaining, that some of these other districts be taken care of equally and that it doesn't just go towards one certain district.
Madam Mayor?
I'm a firm believer in that.
Madam Mayor, our staff.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Our staff has put together a priority list of the things that need to be done. I'm not an expert in infrastructure, but I am relying upon our staff to say highest priority to lowest priority. It makes no difference. You know, when there was mega infrastructure being done in other districts, we waited our turns. There are some districts that are older than others. There are some districts that are younger than others. I just find it you know, you talk both.
paying.
Well, but you have to take a look at the priorities because we will get ourselves in to the situation that for years there were streets and districts that were not taken care of for whatever reason, but they weren't taken care of. And I think that District 3, when we first became elected, was neglected, and there was work put into it. Makes no difference from a resident side, how we get their streets and alleys and the things taken care of. It makes a difference for people that live in the Village of Oaklawn that we're proud of, not just District 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, that all districts are equally represented. And it doesn't mean that you can spend the equal amount of money in each one of the districts based on their age and needs.
When there is need.
Trustee
And
Quinlan?
Also, if you'll remember, years ago, we were all under the impression, every single one of us, that there was a process that all the streets had been evaluated and that they were going off of that list, and that was most certainly not the case. It was whatever, residents complained the loudest and the longest, and the trustees that complained the loudest and the longest. And that's how they came up with their list up until about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. That changed when we finally all realized that that was not, that it was not a fair process. So given the fact that there had been years in the past where some of these other districts were neglected, I do think that given the fact that we have a limited amount of money, that yes, I think every district has needs, whether it's water main replacement or streets. I don't have alleys, but I certainly have streets that need repair.
Putting $1 million towards
Trustee
the
Olejniczak?
improvement of the green is not the best use of money that we
That
have right
wasn't my
now.
point right now. I know you're going to
Please,
pass that.
point of order, please don't address each other, that you need to be recognized by the chair. Thank you.
I don't remember saying I had been
Trustee
finished talking.
Olejniczak, were you still discussing it? Okay.
Recommend you take the vote.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Just so just so we're clear, that the current bids that have been awarded and are in the process under the old policy will continue on to be completed. Anything that has not gone forward at this point is going to stop. And then at the $1 million that was set aside for the Beatty Green project will be redirected or put back towards the infrastructure staff recommendations. That's what the goal is. So.
If I could, Mayor and Board, tomorrow, we open bids on what Paul is referring to. That was a plan that was already approved. Bid specifications were prepared at the direction of the Public Works Committee and the full board, and I don't think that was your intent. This is what I would say, we now have an additional $1 million, and we'll prepare that prioritization list. We'll inform you Friday of the results of the bids that come in tomorrow. And we may even, if the bids come in very competitive, we may have some additional monies also to allocate to new infrastructure projects.
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Quinlan.
No.
Trustee Olejniczak.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Streit.
No.
Motion passes 4-2.
Item 32 is the village clerk's report. Clerk Quinlan, please.
Okay. Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2013-09D, dated May 28th, 2013, in the amount of $1,478,206.22.
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Olejniczak. Any second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Olejniczak.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Streit.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. And I just got one more item. On May 14th, the Oaklawn Lions Club honored Police Tactical Officer Michael McNeela as Police Officer of the Year, and Oaklawn Fire Battalion Chief Norman Rick as Firefighter of the Year. Thanks to both of those individuals for all of their hard work. We're very proud of them.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Item number 33 is the village president's report, and the trustee committee assignments are as follows. Finance will be a committee of the whole. Mike Carberry, Tim Desmond, Alex Olejniczak, Carol Quinlan, Bob Streit, and Terry Vorderer. The fire department liaison will be Trustee Olejniczak. The Legislative License and Ethics Committee will be Trustee Desmond, Olenichik, and Vorderer. The Police Department Liaison will be Mike Carberry. Public Works will be Mike Carberry, Tim Desmond, and Alex Olenichik. Quality Control will be a committee of the whole, Mike Carberry, Tim Desmond, Alex Olenichik, Carol Quinlan, Bob Streit, and Terry Vorderer. The Special Events Liaison will be Trustee Tim Desmond, and the Technology Committee will be Mike Carberry, Carol Quinlan, Terry Vorderer. And I'd like everyone to note, please, that the committee chair will be chosen within that committee itself. May I have a motion to accept the committee assignments as presented?
Do you want to, I mean, we could take them one at a time unless, last year I think we took them all at once, but we could do them one at a time, committee at a time, unless somebody has an objection to some of them or all of them for the board. It's up to, do you want to just go finance and then just go them one at a time?
Would that be your preference?
I think we should, yes.
Okay, so we're going to go one at a time with these. So I read them all, but I'd like a motion, please, for the Finance Committee assignments.
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Olenichik.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion?
Most certainly. I'm just kind of looking at the hit list that we're all so aware of, and what Tom Phelan had put together based on the group discussion everybody of the new board had, and it's exactly the same. So
your question about the Finance Committee?
No, I would like to ask you about this.
The whole board.
I would like to ask you about this list and this meeting that the new board
Okay, when you
members
say this
had.
list, are you referring to the list we just passed out?
I'm referring to the committee assignments, and then I am referring to a document that was sent out by Tom Phelan to all of the new board members, talking about...
Trustee Vorderer, did you receive that document?
Oh, no, he wouldn't, because it said that
So
breaking
please
technology
restate.
from finance and making board chair will buy some goodwill with him and temper criticisms.
Trustee Quinlan, when you say all new board members, that's Trustee Vorderer inclusive. So please rephrase how you're saying this.
Okay, let me rephrase it. It would be a meeting between yourself, Tom Phelan, Mike Carberry, Tim
When you say a
Desmond,
meeting,
at Palermo's.
okay, were you there?
And this would be a meeting, the results of the meeting, and it's the summary of it.
I'd really like, if you're making allegations, that you submit proof of those allegations, because we
Did you
had...
not see a copy of this list that went out? It's exactly what Tom Phelan put together as a summary
Okay.
of your group discussion.
Trustee Quinlan?
Absolutely.
Trustee Quinlan? Trustee Phelan is not up here today.
No, he's not.
I solicited advice from every single person
From
up
Trustee
here.
Phelan, that it would be exactly as
I'm speaking,
discussed?
please. You asked me a question, I'm going to answer it. I solicited advice from every single trustee at this table and outgoing trustee. This is my decision to make. I requested information of each of you. The list was prepared after my meeting with you at about 4:15.
I don't believe that.
So, well,
It's exactly the same. I don't know what you were thinking about, because it's exactly what Tom Phelan told you
it
to
is
do.
my decision to make that, and this is what I'm submitting. So we're discussing the Finance Committee assignments. It's a committee of the whole. May I have your questions regarding that committee?
I think it should remain as whole,
Okay, that's what it is.
and I agree with that.
Okay, any other discussion regarding the Finance Committee? Okay, please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Olenichik?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion
Okay.
passes 6-0.
I'd like a motion to accept the Fire Department Liaison of Trustee Alex Olenichik.
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion?
Well, I think, actually, if I could,
Trustee
Madam
Streit?
President, I do want to, I think Trustee Quinlan made a very important point. We've all seen this list before, And
Are
she
you
had-
talking again about this list
Well,
that I
yeah,
just
well,
passed out?
Yes, this list, right.
Okay.
We've seen it before,
Okay.
and it was distributed as the summary of a group discussion.
Distributed by whom, please?
It was distributed by trustee Phelan.
Okay.
To yourself, as trustee Quinlan. Trustee Quinlan was very accurate. It was distributed to you, to
Okay.
trustee Carberry, to trustee Olenichek, and trustee Desmond, based on a meeting that was held at Palermo's.
You are
4
not
days
correct.
after-
You are
Are you
not
denying
correct.
that meeting took place?
I am denying
Madam
that
Chair.
we had no meeting.
Okay. You
Trustee
didn't-
Desmond?
Yeah, I want to state as well, I've never met Trustee Phelan at Palermo's.
Okay. Anybody else want to deny it?
You know, I don't really want to get into...
Trustee Carberry?
Thank you, Madam President. I really don't want to... I don't even validate it, Bob, with denying. I'm not in that game of denying or
So you were there,
talk
then?
or this or that. But what I can tell you in a very realistic, and it's been true from the beginning of time, people put people in positions because they trust them and they ran on the same values, the same positions, the same ideology. That's what we did. And the people spoke and they vote for us. So the Madam Chair, she has this appointment. She's making it to the people that backed her. If that changes 2 years from now or a year from now, you might be in there. But I'm not going to get into denying because I don't have to deny.
It's about transparency.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Trustee Quinlan,
But I
you've
will.
interrupted
I will.
trustees
One
speaking
time.
many times.
One time, I'll allow you to ask me that question. No, Tom Phelan wasn't there. But as far as you're going with Tom Phelan, you're not even in the same league. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that you brought it up. You know, we have people here that have served. A lot of people here that have served and served hard. You don't need to go there. You really don't.
Trustee Stray?
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, and I mean, I wish we didn't have to go there, but the fact of the matter is, the meeting did take place. There is evidence of that.
Can you prove that?
I can, yes.
Okay, well, I'd
This
like to see
meeting-
that proof right now.
This list is identical to the list
May I
that
see
came
that
out.
proof right now if you're making
You
that
will.
allegation?
You will.
If you do not have the proof right now, then you cannot make that allegation.
Madam Mayor, I think the residents have spoken. I believe we should take it as a vote.
Can I have the floor?
Okay, we have a call for
This
the
is
vote.
the-
Can I have the
Take a
floor?
call for the
You don't
vote.
want to hear what I have to say? Is there some reason?
There's no need to take.
So the
Let's call the
Madam
vote.
Mayor,
Please take a call for the vote.
Transparency and ethics was just a
Trustee
campaign
Quinlan?
slogan, is that correct?
You should talk, Bob.
Madam Mayor,
Trustee
please take the
Quinlan?
vote.
I
We
am
have the
trying to
vote.
take the
The
vote.
audience
Trustee
from
Quinlan.
talking out. You cannot be talking out. You're out of order.
Please take the roll.
I did, Trustee Quinlan. You want to
Trustee
vote?
Quinlan.
Are you asking for my vote?
Yes, we've been
No.
asking for the vote.
No.
Okay.
No? Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee
Needs to
Carberry?
leave.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
No.
Motion passes 4-2.
Okay, next is the Legislative License and Ethics Committee. Again, this would involve Trustee Desmond, Olenichek, and Vorder.
Excuse me.
Okay, so Legislative License and Ethics Committee.
This is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be disrespected anymore at meetings.
Okay, motion to approve, please.
Motion.
Properly moved by Trustee Olenichek.
Get up. Come on.
It's very unfortunate.
Who's second?
Okay, any second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Desmond. Any discussion on the Legislative License and Ethics Committee? Hearing none, may I call the vote?
Trustee Quinlan?
No.
Trustee Olenichek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
No.
Motion passed 4-2.
Okay, we need a motion, please, for the Police Department Liaison, Trustee Carberry.
Motion to approve?
Properly moved by Trustee Olenichek.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Desmond. Any discussion?
Madam President.
Trustee Vorder?
I'm a little disappointed. I really do feel that I'm in a unique situation, okay, to represent the police department to this board with 34 years' experience. Certainly Mike Carberry is a qualified individual, but I think I could do a better job. I know these are your appointments, and I respect your choice in candidates. Okay, you were elected by the majority of people, and you have a right to do this, but I do feel that this should have been my appointment. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
No.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
No.
Trustee Streit?
No.
President Barry?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-3.
We have need a motion, please, for Public Works. This committee would include Trustee Carberry, Desmond, and Oliniechek. Need a
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve properly by Trustee Oliniechek,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
No.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
No.
Motion passes 4-2.
And Quality Control, this is a committee of the whole with Mike Carberry, Tim Desmond, Alex Oliniechek, Carol Quinlan, Bob Streit, and Terry Vorderer. May I have a motion, please, to approve the Quality Control Committee.
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Oliniechek,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Desmond. Any discussion? All in favor, please. Take the roll.
Full roll?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
And I'd like a motion, please, to appoint the Special Events Liaison, Trustee Tim Desmond. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Properly moved by Trustee Oliniechek. Second, please.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? All in favor? I'm sorry, any
I'll
discussion?
call it. Trustee Quinlan?
No.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
No.
Motion passed 4-2.
And last item on this section is the Technology Committee. This would consist of Trustee Mike Carberry, Trustee Carol Quinlan, and Trustee Terry Vorderer. May I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Desmond. Second.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Trustee Oliniechek. Any discussion?
Madam President,
Trustee
I
Vorderer.
respectfully request to be removed from that committee.
Okay. Okay. May I ask why?
I'm not interested in serving on that committee.
Oh, okay. May I have a volunteer?
Make that 2 volunteers. I would like to be removed as well.
Okay, so I will then have Trustee Oliniechek and Trustee Desmond. Are you willing to serve, please?
I will
Thank
do
you.
what's in the best interest of the residents of the Village of Oak Lawn and happily do it.
Okay, so the Technology Committee will be Mike Carberry, Trustee Oliniechek, and Trustee Tim Desmond. May I have any discussion?
You still keep that same motion?
Let's
Do I
have,
need a new motion?
Well, let's have a motion to approve the amended committee.
Let's have a motion then, please, to approve the amended committee.
So moved.
Properly moved by Trustee Oliniechek,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Carberry. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay, thank you. Under General Village Managers, Village Matters, excuse me, I just want to let the voters know that one of my campaign promises was to not take a pension as a part-time employee. I did decline participation in the IMRF. I also advised the Personnel Department that my Liquor Commissioner salary will go to the Police Department. And I will try to have regular office hours at Village Hall, Presently, I've had so many meetings, I'm only going to commit to Tuesdays between 2 and 4 every week. I expect that to expand quite a bit. I'm still meeting with personnel and department heads, and that will be expanded as we move forward. I'm easy to reach at Village Hall. I have the village email, sberry@oaklawn.il.gov. And I guess that's about it for my report. We had an item, we moved to the end. Let me go back to item 29, I believe.
Motion to go in.
I need a motion to go into executive session, please.
Make that motion.
Properly moved by trustee Vorderer.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Oliniechek. Any discussion?
Yeah, just for the record, this is for,
This is,
probable, we stated it earlier, but.
this is for, okay, this is regarding an investigation of issues pertaining to the House of Brides, and the reason for executive session is it relates to the performance and/or discipline of one or more village employees, as well as imminent or probable litigation.
Correct, thank you.
I have to take the roll.
Take the roll, please.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Carberry?
Yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Strike? Yes. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. So we'll clear the room for the executive session, please.